Nintendo has been in the news recently for a lot more leaks. Like I covered before previously on this channel, the Switch 2 is something that most people want. Like myself, I'm a huge Nintendo Switch guy, so for me, this news has been really cool. So I'm in my hallway because we are currently in the process of moving. So this is what it is now. I feel like my look is so boring. Hold on, let's spice it up a little bit. Awesome. Now I look like Danny from Karate Kid. That's whatever. Now, if you've been sleeping under a rock and you're a Nintendo fan, you probably wouldn't know that for about a year now, every single month, there's a new rumor about the Switch 2, about its release date, when it's going to be revealed, and all that sort of stuff. The reason that's a thing is because Nintendo has been so tight-lipped on it. They've only really acknowledged its existence one time before. Now, the Switch has been a super interesting console for Nintendo because it's one of the first ones that they've made where there isn't a mid-gen update of sorts. Even just like a second tier to the base console. I'm thinking from the DS to the DS Lite to the DSi to the 3DS. I kind of see the DSi and the 3DS as like completely different consoles, but they all fall under the DS family, and Nintendo's DS was so successful that they just kept it and just kept innovating on it. And I think history is going to repeat itself with the Switch because the Switch has been a huge goldmine for Nintendo. Over the past 6 years, it's easily become one of the best-selling, if not the best-selling console of all time, especially for Nintendo. And I've never seen a console in general in my life be so successful. The library on the console is also insanely big since this is one of their most powerful consoles. It was able to run a lot more third-party games than the Wii or the Wii U. And it just works. Everything about the whole Switch, the idea of it is just genius. Bridging a console audience with a handheld audience is insanely smart. And I give Nintendo a lot of props for it. Again, I'm not a console warrior guy. If I was going to pick a side, it would be Nintendo 100% of the time. But it's crazy for me to think about because they really haven't done anything with the Switch. By anything, I mean they really haven't upgraded it at all. This was the base Switch model that they released 5 years ago or 6 years ago at this point. And we had the Switch Lite, which is basically like the Game Boy Color of the Switch family because it's basically just there to look pretty. And then this is the OLED. So they really just changed the screen and then they upgraded the battery, and I believe it was one of the first years of the console. And then they've done nothing after it. Nintendo really does follow the whole idea of if something's not broken, why fix it? And although there are things that I would love to see in a Switch 2, didn't need to do it. They didn't need to have like a mid-gen update, and the Switch has been around, again, for pretty much its whole life cycle now. It's been 6 years. I can see them holding on to like this Switch formula for probably another 5 or 6 years, and then do something else that's completely innovative. I don't know. Nintendo's a weird company. Now, why am I bringing this up in my first kind of video in this style? Well, the Nintendo Switch 2 has apparently been shown to people behind closed doors. It was announced earlier this week that at Gamescom, Nintendo actually showed some people the Switch 2, and some sources are saying that it's as powerful or as strong or can put out graphics as well or on par as a PlayStation 5, which if it does doing that in handheld mode is incredible. Obviously there are some Nintendo games that just absolutely look amazing, and a lot of third-party games like Mortal Kombat 11 look really good on the Switch. However, there are also games like the new Pokemon games that just look abysmal, and there are games like Tears of the Kingdom that just kind of chug the console, and at certain points you're really getting like 15 to 20 frames. But again, then you have games like Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and it just looks so beautiful on the console. It's a hard thing to gauge. Person, who's been leaking Nintendo games for a little bit now, has stated that we are getting a Nintendo Direct sometime in the coming week or so, which makes sense. Nintendo always does the September Direct. I'm really not surprised at this point, especially because the new Pokemon DLC drops on a Wednesday, which is really random. It's usually like a Tuesday or Friday, but for some reason it's a Wednesday. But I say this because the person who's leaking games like Mario Wonder has recently come out to say that we are getting a new F-1-Zero game, or F-Zero, whatever the Captain Falco game is. And we're also getting a new Donkey Kong game, which is huge. Donkey Kong has needed a new game for a while. The Tropical Freeze port from the Wii U was really good, and I just want to see him get his own love. But in reality, I'm more excited for a Switch 2. I think that there's a lot of leaks going on with Nintendo right now, and hopefully we get something soon. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. This was a different type of style because I'm trying to put my personality more into my videos and make them more watchable. I don't know, maybe this is less watchable. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully in my next video I'll be moved, but I'm trying to do a Starfield video and that's gonna take way too long.